So let's have a look at our starting lineup for first of the two semi-finals here at the EFRA 1/8 Buggy B European Championships. It's got Harlow Melo who will lead them off. And the junior stars out here in our TQ overnight. He put in some sensational runs yesterday. Thiago Aguiar qualified third overall. Roloff second, Zacharias Villalba third. Fourth is Thomas Musso. Fifth is Guilherme Hebert. Sixth is Nuno Casal Ribeiro. Seventh is João Rodrigues. Eighth is Baptista Bru. Ninth is the first of our qualifiers from the quarterfinals, Vincent Meertans, ahead of Nuno Rebelo. And the final two starters are Ricardo Abreu and Christian Villar. Let's get ready to go. They are the under starters' orders any second now, as they look for a place in the main final, here with a shot at becoming European B champion in the Nitro Buggy discipline. There are 4 spots available to them. And so, let's get ready. Let's get ready. And away they go. It's a clean start. Right down to the first corner. And mostly through the first corner very smoothly. Melo and Aguiar straight away side by side. Wheel banging as they head up through the first few corners. They deflect off each other and straight away into the morass of cars. Everyone bunched together quickly. They find their own way and they spread out fairly soon after. But for now, it looks to be fairly clean, considering some of the starts we've seen out here earlier in the lower finals. I've seen a lot scrappier efforts than that. And this is a lot better overall. So as they come around to complete the first lap, it is car number 3, Zacharias Villalba, who leads them ahead of Thiago Aguiar. And then Gonzalo Melo is third, followed by car number 6. Well, car number 6 has just taken third spot, actually. That's Nuno Casal Ribeiro. But a couple of flips there. Nuno Casal Ribeiro also upside down. Aguiar was upside down there. Marshall's stacking it, trying to get those cars back going the right direction. Eventually, as Villalba still leads ahead of Aguiar. And Melo, the pole sitter, still in third, remember. And a lot of shouting down in the pit lane as well. Barked instructions already. We are looking at the top 3, but one of the top 3 has flipped. Is that Melo? It is Melo. Melo has now fallen down some spots and may well be out of the transfer spots. He's looking for the big fight. So it is 6 drivers who will go through from these semi-finals through into the final each to form the 12-car grid for the final. So in the earlier heats, our focus was on the top 4. It is now on the top 6. So there's 4th, 5th and 6th all in the same shot, and they're all battling each other. One of them's come a cropper and will lose a couple of positions there and slip out of the top 6. Is that Melo in trouble again? It is. Now that's very surprising given Melo's car speed. He's been getting in a few scraps early doors he probably shouldn't have got himself into. But some incidents in front of him and he does avoid that really nicely. That's a couple of cars crashing in front of him. He gets through there okay, and that should put him back on the tail end of the top 6. But another instant though, Melo just can't keep it clean so far. It's a very competitive semi-final. Melo, our TQ, is right in the middle of the action. He was hoping to have it quiet up front, have a fairly settled ride. Not so far. This field are really going great guns at him. And let's have a look at the VRC Pro replay. Just a little stack on the inside of the curb. That's all it was. That's all it is really. It's just so easy to make mistakes around here. So if you can minimise those, then you are pretty much almost all the way there, as he takes a shot to the rear end there from car number 6, Nuno Casal Ribeiro. Now, Casal Ribeiro has been scored 6th and Melo 7th, but Melo is now up to 6th place and Casal Ribeiro 7th on the outside looking in. The battle is on here. It is 6th place we're paying attention to here. The front 2 are broken clear, Villalba and De Bru. Musso and one of our transfer guys, Abreu, is up in 4th spot. 5th is another one of our transfer guys in the quarterfinals, Nuno Rebelo. And then it is Gonzalo Melo, our TQ, who is at the moment, rather surprisingly to many, just hanging on to a qualifying spot for the final of the EFRA European B Championships, the 1/8 bikie discipline. Right now it's Casal Ribeiro and Guilherme Hebert is putting a lot of pressure on. It's mainly Casal Ribeiro in the green and blue car is putting the most pressure on, but he's actually fading a little bit there. Melo gets a little bit raggedy there. Bearing in mind, these guys did just have a practice session to make up for the fact they haven't been on this track since around 4 o'clock yesterday. Melo stuck and in trouble at the final corner. He's losing all sorts of time. He's lost 3 positions in one go. Another costly mistake for Melo. And that now puts Nuno Casal Ribeiro into the 6th spot. And he's immediately under pressure from Hebert. Hebert putting all the pressure on in the car 5. Car 6 is Casal Ribeiro. And short of not only falling behind those two guys, Melo has also lost a position to Vincent Meertans, another one of our transfer guys from the quarter-final. So he has got a lot of work to do. Melo seriously quick yesterday. How has the track changed since then, and have they been able to keep up with it? That is the big question. Casal Ribeiro is trying to drop Hebert here. Casal Ribeiro looking for that final spot in the main final later today. Meanwhile, the guys in front of them are looking a lot more comfortable than normal. Villalba, De Bruyne, Abreu, Rebello and Musso are your top 5 after 5 minutes. And 6th in that all-important last transfer spot is Nuno Casal Ribeiro of Portugal, one of the home favourites. And he is under all sorts of pressure now from Guilherme Hebert, the Frenchman. And Melo, by the way, has been able to make it back up to 7th spot. Or 8th spot, I should say. But it's still quite a distance away. But a mistake from Casal Ribeiro demonstrates just how quickly these semi-finals can change fortunes. And we have one car with damage down in front of us. That's okay. That was car number 2, Thiago Aguiar, who has fallen out of contention. Real surprise, car number 3, one of our top qualifiers. But we continue to follow our 6th place car, which is Hebert now. Car number 5. Very tentative through the granite hairpin. We have another VRC Pro replay. This was how quickly the position changed. That corner is so deceptive. You just turn in a little bit too early. It's off camera on the apex anyway, but you turn in a little bit too early, hit the inside barrier, and it is all over. So Hebert now in 6th place. Casal Ribeiro 7th. Melo 8th place. Tiniest bit of cloud cover coming in, a bit of a breeze picking up here in Freixedas in Portugal. It has been scorchingly hot this weekend. The track has been a constantly evolving beast. Everyone has talked about the need to evolve, second guess what way the track's going to go and make changes accordingly. Now, has that played into their hands? I think that was car 12, which is Christian Villar, so he's not a factor. But that has helped bunch up the battle for 6th. Hebert now makes a mistake. Lets Casal Ribeiro back through. And Melo is back in the fray. Surely Gonzalo Melo has to get physical there with Hebert. Hebert turned back into him there. And both of them banged wheels. And this battle for 6th is a fierce struggle. Nuno Casal Ribeiro is back through now into 6th spot. And it's 7th is Melo, who has been up against it this entire semi-final. He makes a little mistake there. Him and Hebert side by side down the back straight, over the jumps. A spectacular visual. And it's a battle that, for now, Melo wins. He's the car that should, on paper, start as favourite. And he pits here. He pits in. And this is right at around 7.5 minutes. Squirt of fuel and he's down and away. I wonder if he's expecting to pit one more time out of that. He might just be predicted to go to the end. So, that's put Melo back a little bit. He's one of the first guys we've seen in the pits. So, where's Nuno Casal Ribeiro? He's just on the EFRA tabletop now, coming down and onto the back straight. Casal Ribeiro. Well, he's got a brief respite from Melo for the moment, but he's still got Hebert all over him at the moment, looking for the pass on the inside. This is a frenzied battle. Now it is Casal Ribeiro's time to pit. This will be vitally important. Car number 11 also in and out. That was Ricardo Abreu, who was in 3rd. And Melo has beaten Casal Ribeiro out of the pit. So Casal Ribeiro is down a position on the road. And he's just come out behind Vincent Meertans, who I don't think is in the fight so much. But Casal Ribeiro has actually lost out to Melo in the pits. Melo has gained a position back in the pit cycle. Melo is the yellow with red accents car going over the EFRA tabletop right now. Down the back straight. Melo put in such searing times yesterday. Such consistency was really the hallmark of his qualifying times, and now it seems he's starting to get it together with some clear track in front of him. With pit stop starting to happen, he took the early stop. I wonder if that was a strategic call to get him out of the action. He seemed to be getting frustrated, was making mistakes, getting into it with other cars, and now he's able to relax a little bit more and get on with his race. And right now, he is scored as still 7th, funnily enough, because Ricardo Abreu has also pitted in front of him, but I think there's a couple of guys who have gone long on their first stint. Baptiste Brou, I think, has jumped up. So, see how this shakes out. We continue to follow Melo, who has beaten Nuno Casal Ribeiro out of the pits, and in fact is now ahead of Hebert on the track as well. So Melo is scored 6th now. Hebert has fallen behind, and also in there as well is Vincent Meertens in the orange and yellow car. He's actually right behind Melo. So that was me thinking he wasn't a factor. He actually is. He's right in there. And Melo is now chasing down Ricardo Abreu, who has a grip roll at the top of the tabletop. And Melo goes through, and he'll lose a lot of positions there because Abreu just taking a while to get recovered. Sometimes that happens. So that should put Melo up into a net 5th place as he comes around to complete another lap. It does. He's up to 5th now. Meertens is up to the 6th and final transfer spot. And suddenly there's a bit of clean air between Melo and his nearest competitor. As they come across the line, Meertens has just been in and out of the pits, so that should hand the position back to Hebert. Now Hebert is not that far behind Melo. Hebert is just climbing up the EFRA tabletop now, round that top corner, and through and onto the back straight, over the doubles. 1, then 2. Textbook technique there from Hebert, and he's going to have to bring all of his A game here to try and chase down Melo. They are effectively, as it stands, battling over the last transfer spot, although Hebert has the final transfer spot for now. Melo is 5th. So Ricardo Abreu is the man on the comeback trail who is trying to chase down Hebert. He was safely in the transfer spots and is now on the outside looking in. So Abreu is a few corners back. He's about 5 seconds down the road from Hebert. It's exactly 5 seconds down the road from Hebert. But right now, Hebert is the one in the great position there. Melo is getting on with it and getting some really good lap times, and this is much better. This is more like the Melo we saw yesterday in qualifying. He's doing what he needs to do. He's being pragmatic. Had a very rough start to the race. Really had a lot of issues. Got caught up in the early traffic jams. He's getting into incidents. But now he's sorted out. As soon as the pit stop started to happen, they took him out of the cycle. Although now he makes a mistake and he clashes with Hebert. So Hebert back up the inside. Hebert will move to 5th place. Melo 6th. So this is not the worst thing in the world for Melo. He is down. He's still in a transfer spot, but he wants to try and move up. Of course, these will also go towards qualifying positions for the final. He gets into a little bit of contact with Hebert. They're battling away. Hebert comes into the pits. So that little skirmish will cease for now. We have about 8 minutes to go. We have a VRC Pro replay just demonstrating the pass for the position. A little bit of a roll there. Melo just had a little grip roll coming over the jump. Hebert tucks up the inside. They bang wheels. Physical racing here in the buggy discipline. And Melo keeps going then. He will. We've just had a flame out down here. That's car 7. That's Juan Rodriguez. He was running 10th anyway, so he was not a factor in the race. But now Melo is still 6th spot. So Hebert, I think when Melo comes around this time, he'll be scored 5th, which indeed he will. So we once again look out for Guilherme Hebert, who I think is not the car directly behind Melo. He just dropped a couple of cars back, not the one that's tumbling and fishtailing all over the place. We look for number 11, which is the car coming through the shot right now. It's the white and orange car of Ricardo Abreu. Abreu is the man who's now up into the final transfer spot at the expense of Hebert, who I think has hit some trouble in traffic. He's come out right into a hornet's nest and has actually faded back. So Abreu is now in position and is looking for the double bump up. He came up from the quarterfinal. Can he do it again to make it to the final? He's in position right now. And the nearest guy to him, Meertens, is not a competitor right behind. He is pitting in now. Abreu's pitting, so this is going to be crucial. Where's Hebert? Hebert's coming down the final corner now. Hebert will retake the position. Out goes Abreu. Abreu returns to the track. But Thiago Aguiar is also in contention as well. Aguiar, remember, 3rd in qualifying. but has really looked out of sorts so far in the race. He's not really been a factor so far. Meertans was scored as the 6th place car as they came across the line that time, ahead of Hebert. So I think with the pit stop taken into account, Meertans will go up to 5th, Hebert 6th, and Abreu once again on the outside looking in. I think as we come across the line this time, we'll just show you who is in 6th spot as they come across the line. It is Guilherme Hebert, who is still scored 6th. So Hebert, the green and blue number 5 car, right in front of us in the middle sector, right in the S section. Car number 5 with the white wheels and the clear wing. And he is just on the back of Vincent Meertans as this battle has evolved constantly throughout the race. Melo, by the way, has made his way back up to 4th. So he's slowly clambering back up. But the 2 cars on screen right now are your 5th and 6th place runners. Meertans, another guy looking for the double transfer up from the quarterfinals. And Hebert, who is just hanging on. And Thiago Aguiar, 3rd overall qualifier, is not far away, although he has just pitted a 2nd time. So that'll hand that position over probably to Ricardo Abreu. And Abreu, I'm just looking at it on the screens right now, he's substantial distance back, not a huge amount. But as we head towards the final quarter of this race, the 2 cars on screen are your final 2 transferees. 2 final guys going through the transfer spot. The pair of French drivers, Vincent Meertans and Guilherme Hebert. These 2 are... They've just got to be careful now. They've got to be calm. They know they've got a decent gap over 7th place Ricardo Abreu. In fact, the gap they have is about 7 seconds. So that is not worth making a mistake over. One flip or one grip roll in the wrong place where a marshal can't immediately tend to you, and suddenly that battle is blown wide open again. But they scrap for the position anyway. Meertans versus Hebert. The battle is on down the back straight, over the doubles. Both guys with very smooth technique. Nicely done from the 2 French drivers. Hebert really trying to chase on, really pushing hard. The pace is good. Your leader is Baptiste Brou, by the way. Currently with Nuno Rebelo 2nd. Now there's another guy who is looking for the transfer, but you have the battle for the position here. Meertans fends off Hebert there. Good, clean racecraft there. And these 2 starting to skirmish, so the 5th spot. Thomas Musso runs 3rd, and Gonzalo Melo, our TQ overnight, runs 4th. So he's safely fought back from those early troubles to make it into the transfer spots, and he's not that far up the road from these 2, so these guys will keep him honest, but he'll be hoping that these 2 scrap away to their heart's content and drop off the pace from him as car 7 just returns to the race. That's Joao Rodriguez, who's many laps down. Meertans and Hebert continue their little scrap, and they are, I can tell you, only getting away from the man who's now 7th, which is Thiago Aguiar. And Aguiar across the line like last time showed up 8 seconds down, so these 2 are putting in a really good pace. They're battling with each other, but they also appear to be pushing each other forward to faster and faster speeds. That's no bad thing for them, of course. Hebert looking for the pass up the inside, very difficult there. Actually pushing each other around the granite hairpin, both of them taking a very tight line. And remember, there's every reason for these guys to still battle for the position here. They're both in transfer spots, but of course, this will help them qualify for the final. Hebert looking up the inside, there was no room there, but he made some. There was absolutely no room there from Hebert, but he made some up the inside. There was too late for Meertans to close the door. Hebert makes a great pass for 5th spot, and that solidifies his spot in the final. It'll also help gain him an extra position or 2 in the final. Meertans now in danger of falling back a little bit, but he still does have a healthy gap back to Aguiar of around about 6 or 7 seconds. So he is okay as we have 2.5 minutes to go in this first semi-final that's really flown by at a rapid old rate. There's been a lot to watch all over the track. The rise, fall, and then rise again of Melo, all in about the first 10 minutes of the race. And Hebert is actually trying to chase him down now. And of course, as I say, these guys have got a battle because these positions are all going to count towards their starting positions for the final. So if they can make up positions here, it gives them a better starting spot for the final. So Hebert had every right to force the move on Meertans there. It wasn't a case of like earlier where they'd still be starting largely at the back anyway. Here, they're fighting for everything, and they're fighting to not only get to the final, but give themselves the best chance of doing so. Now, who's that who's just flamed out over there? That's car 3, Zacharias Villalba. He wasn't in contention. De Bruyne, Rebello, Musso, Melo, Hebert and Meertens are your cars in contention. That's Meertens upside down though. Is there a late twist? We've got 90 seconds to go. Aguilar will not need any more motivation to catch up to him, and he is right there now. He's right there on Meertens, who just made a crucial error with 90 seconds to go. And it was one of those jumps, one of those spots where the Marshals couldn't respond immediately. That happens, and suddenly Aguilar is right there. Our third place qualifier overnight. The third fastest man, third fastest driver around this joint yesterday is now hunting down the final transfer spot to move into the final. He must have been one of the favourites for this event. He must have been one of the favourites to transfer. And I'll tell you what, I did think for a second he was bringing Nuno Casal Ribeiro with him. And now the battle is on. The battle is on. He's all over Meertens. He's crawling all over the back of him. Aguilar up the inside. An aggressive move through the EFRA tabletop. An aggressive but strong move there. And he makes the pass. There wasn't a lot of room there. He made it so. He put his car up the inside. And he had the line just about there. And the home fans are happy with that. And the tension is really reaching breaking point. This will be the last lap for them. Aguilar, Meertens is right there. Nuno Casal Ribeiro, he scores a lap behind these guys, so he's not involved. But now, that was Aguilar has flipped. And he's flipped again. It's all over. It's all over. What a shame, considering the power move that he put on Meertens to take the position. What a shame. What a shame. And it's seriously tense for the finish now. Aguilar now, though, is actually in 6th spot, though. So Meertens has still fallen out of that position. But we'll see as they come across the line here. Here comes Aguilar. This is a seriously fraught end to this race. The stakes are galore, and the battle for the final transfer spot will come right down to it as they're coming across the line. Baptiste de Bruyne should be our winner here. Some donuts for Musso as well. Well, you know what? If you've made it home like that. So let's have our final rundown then, shall we? An absolutely fraught first semi-final. That was fabulous stuff. It's Baptiste de Bruyne that takes the win. He probably had the calmest ride out of all of them out there. Nuno Rebello makes the double jump up from the quarterfinal. Thomas Musso third. Gonzalo Melo, the TQ, recovers from a tough opening stint to finish 4th. 5th for Guilherme Hebert in the end. And 6th for Vincent Meertens. In the final laps, he just defeats Thiago Aguilar, who made the power move at the tabletop to make the position and then made those 2 crucial mistakes that cost him dearly. Ricardo Abreu 8th, Nuno Casal Ribeiro 9th, and Zacharias Villalba completes the 10, with Christian Villar and Joao Rodriguez never really getting going in that semi-final.